All right, so this morning on the bulletins, we're starting with Mr. Logic. Fire. He's an artist manager. We know him, Mr. Logic, and he's taking a swipe at Ghanaian musicians, tagging them as ungrateful people. According to the songwriter and artist manager, he's worked with many musicians in the country, but in the end, they have all proven to be ungrateful towards him and others who helped out. Speaking in an interview, he mentioned that one of such artists is dancehall artist Shatta Wale, whom he wrote a song for in the past. Mr. Logic disclosed that during an interview, Shatta Wale was asked about that particular song, but he failed to give him credit for his work. He also mentioned Jupiter's name, saying that he helped him out when he was coming up and struggling, but after things started working out for him, he ignored him as if he never had done anything for him. He further advised that if there's anyone out there who's seeking to help any Ghanaian artist, then that person should consider having a contract to back it up. Mr. Logic concluded that he would much rather spend his money to help an animal than human beings. That's quite harsh.
Yeah.
So talk to me, Kofi.
Yeah.
What do you make of his,
His, Mr. Logic, for his name, seems to, be a little bit too emotional when it comes to addressing issues. He seemed to have a point, with the issues that he raises, but sometimes you feel it's a little bit too emotional. So I don't know whether the name Logic it's more of sarcasm or I don't know the point. But if we would want to approach this from a very logical point of view, I think he prescribes a solution in there that you are supposed to approach artists and then the manager or the label, whatever situation, from a point of a contract. That is obviously the solution to this, so that at the end of the day, someone is not going to tell you that you have been ungrateful or, this and that. If the contract fully spells out the terms, what is coming, what is going, what each party is supposed to do, in the relationship, then you basically know that, okay, this one is kind of arbitrary. You just get up, say the person has been ungrateful, but what was the terms under which you guys engaged? What did you expect from the person? What did he expect from you? Do you know for a fact that you actually met the person's expectation? You don't, because there isn't a contract that is attached to it. But obviously when there's a contract, those terms are clearly spelled out. You know your part to play in it, you know his part to play in it. There wouldn't be that type of conversations. For me, one of the biggest problems when it comes to how we run our industry here, I'm looking at it from the perspective of a fan and what actually comes out in the public. Most artists, when they are coming up, it seems, they come up through, how do you say it, people that they are familiar with.
Right. You
understand? So that is how it actually starts. So it's with familiar faces, people that they can have an argument with, people that they can, that familiarity is there. So it becomes very difficult when it gets to the crux of issues to be able to table certain concerns and, take certain business decisions, because them all be boys, or it's a boys thing. I think even recently I was watching the EL interview, and he was talking about the fact that one of the reasons why the whole BBNZ thing he left was because, there were issues that there was ego in the way. How can there be ego in the way? It's because you are boys. But if you know that this is a CEO, your manager, whatever, you are going to, that level of respect is going to be there for each other, So for me, of course, you can have your boys around. In that same interview, one of the panelists asked, wearing the elders in the room. So you are supposed to have that structure that is supposed to be able to check, some of these things. You understand? It's not just supposed to be boys. There's supposed to be a very legal and contractual obligation for both parties to fulfill. I think that is the most important way to go. Yeah.
Okay, so you seem to have addressed a lot of my questions in one,
in one breath.
in one breath,
Yeah,
and that's all
yeah.
well and good.
We can still go into the details of it.
Right,
There's just a brush.
but of course, in the case where there's no contract, typically when people are helping out, are they doing it, out of the goodness of their heart, or is it usually to get something back?
Okay, for me, I think basically the first human instincts. Sometimes we are just supposed to be very, blunt and very, honest with ourselves. Nobody goes into any type of relationship without an expectation. You understand? And there isn't any free lunch anywhere. Once the person probably recognizes the talent in you, the person sees a potential. That is why the person even thinks in the first place that, they can work with you, because they are looking at the end game. They are trying to be smart before someone else comes for you or whatever. So, but sometimes what happens is that it's presented as though you are being done a favor. You understand? And it shouldn't be, it definitely shouldn't be that way. He's seen an end game. That is why he's actually coming for you. And also you that you are entering into that type of situation, you're also seeing that, okay, I probably don't have the resources, I don't have the reach, I don't have the network, I can benefit from this. But the truth is that in every relationship, as I've said, everyone is looking at the end game. The artist sometimes can become bigger than the person that is helping him. You understand? Okay, maybe starting off your career, what you wanted was one hit. Now you've gotten that one hit. How do you get to the next hit? This person that you are with at the moment doesn't have that resource pool to be able to take you to that next hit. What are you supposed to do? Stay with the person and stay stagnated? You understand? So you probably have to take a business decision or a very, a parochial decision to, fend for your own self and fend for your own interest. Exactly. So you would want to move higher, and it might not go well with that person. Now the person says that you have been ungrateful, but the question now becomes that, okay, there are situations where artists also, when they are with, especially when they come out fresh and they are with their first management, they complain of being cheated. You understand? Most of them, a lot of money goes into music videos, merchandise, this and that, and then the managers are telling them that, okay, these revenues that their person is probably playing a show, they are paying him 30,000-40,000, and he's not getting that 30,000-40,000. You are giving him something small, and he's seeing that, this money is coming in. Then now he comes to you, and then you're explaining to the person that, we use the money for this, we have to pay this, we have to pay this. You are not even probably showing the bookwork. You understand? The records. So the person is going to get suspicious. You understand? So all of these things come into play. But obviously, when there's written stuff, contracts and those things, it addresses some of those issues for me. Issues. Yeah.
And how long should a person, how do I even pose the question? You've helped an artist come up. Okay. They probably have moved on to other people, upgraded to, versions that can help them, their growth.
Yeah.
How long, in staying grateful, first of all, how do they do that? And how long do they do it for?
Yeah.
Because it feels to me like some people want a lifetime subscription of gratitude,
gratefulness. Yeah.
Yes, like, okay, you helped me at some point in my life, so I'm supposed to live the rest of my life in gratitude to you.
Okay.
And no matter what I've done in showing my gratitude, it can never be enough, because anytime you call, I'm supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And I think at some point it gets a bit much for a person, and the day they refuse to,
that's when you shout that they've been ungrateful. I clearly get what you are saying. That is a certain level of manipulation. You understand me? When people have helped you, but whatever help that they claim they have given to you, they also benefited from, and they expect you to be subservient to them for a lifetime. Let's not get it wrong. It is very important to be grateful. I think it's a very good attitude, you know. Not and it shouldn't even just be said like in Shishinim or just when you meet the person, or like you should be eternally grateful when people are able to help you. You understand? But it's also very important that, you know, you don't become another person's pawn, or you don't become, you know, what's the word? A puppet. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. You don't become someone's puppet just because, you know, they've helped you. For me, I think the most important thing in that type of situation would obviously be, you know, you how do you put it? You always, when you get the opportunity, especially, you are always, you know, you try to slip the person's name in there. You know, you try to, you know, show that level of gratitude to the person from time to time. It shouldn't be a situation that, one thing I also don't like at all is being a kiss-ass. You understand? Yeah, because someone has helped you or whatever, it's like, even if the person is going wrong, you always have to, you know, be at the pet, and sometimes that's what they also expect from you. But you should also get to a point where you're a person of yourself. You have a personal identity that, you know, you are also interested in. You should be as grateful as long as you can be, you know, but it shouldn't get to the realm where you are just being, you know, you're just licking someone's boots. Exactly. Yeah.
Alrighty. So I think we're going to move on from Mr. Logic. I think points made are pretty clear. So we're going to move on from Mr. Logic, and we are going to Musica. Okay. So Musica has called on JW Ambole and Kofi Ochedako to hold their peace and, you know, bring to a stop their feud. In a statement issued and signed by the union's acting president, Mr. Simons, Musica also asked music fans to stop stoking up the fires of the feud. You know, they indicated that I mean, both Ambole and KOD are passionate about the growth, development, and preservation of high life music. It is also expressed, belief that the award scheme cited by both Ambole and KOD in their fights, the Vodafone Ghana Music Awards, and others, all have good intentions for the Ghanaian music industry in general. And Musica revealed that the National Folklore Board has applied to the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization for high life music to be listed as part of Ghana's intangible cultural heritage. So yeah, when I saw, I think when I saw this statement, whoever posted it said, I think the caption was "Musica is working." Okay. And I mean, I saw it and there was a smile on my face. Okay. I don't know what that smile represented, but it clearly was there. Yeah. So let's get into it. Okay. A step in the right direction?
Musica, yeah, obviously. I think the most important thing about this statement for me is that they've addressed the issue of the high life genre and the fact that they have already applied to UNESCO, trying to get it listed, you know, as, you know, a Ghanaian heritage and all of that. I think that is a very good information that we have been given, and I think there should be a follow-up to that, so that we see more. I think that is the most important thing. For me, the role of Musica, I don't know if the exact responsibility of Musica is to straighten these type of feuds. You understand? And they coming out and telling fans that we shouldn't stop. I mean, bro, these are grown adults.
Bruh, what are you talking?
You know, though we are stakeholders in it, but we are not the people who are starting the fire. These are people who are going at each other, and probably people are just having takes, you know.
We're fanning the flame. We are fanning the flame.
I don't think the fans are the ones fanning the flame. I think the media is the one fanning the flame.
Okay.
The fans might even be tired of it as at now. You understand? Yeah. So even this musical statement even brings it to the fore again, because the media is going to latch onto it, and we are still going to continue talking about it. But it's also great that, you know, they being legends. I talked earlier about the elders in the room, so obviously.
Oh, but apparently they have history. You know, the day we talked about that, you were not here.
Okay.
The day you and I talked about it.
Okay.
And you mentioned that,
Is there possibly that there was a history?
Yeah, they do have history.
They do have a history. So they've worked together.
Yes.
Okay,
apparently
okay.
They have
And
history.
so maybe it's a situation. I think he also mentioned the issue of ungratefulness
Yes,
from Ambule.
yes.
And you start to wonder. I mean, how old is KOD telling you know Ambule being telling Ambule that he's been ungrateful and all of that? So I think obviously they say that blessed is the peacemaker, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for they shall inherit the earth. So I mean, a feather in the cap of Musica.
But why now and why this?
Yeah.
I mean, there have been in the history of Ghanaian music so many feuds. We call it beef now. People have beefed each other. God knows from I'm trying Exdo and what was his name? Chicago, and I mean from all that time all the way to now. But why now? Why this particular issue?
Yeah, for me, I would like to think that these people are kind of stalwarts when it comes not just the music, when it comes to the music, the administration of music in the country. So it's important that they present a unified front, and especially with the information that was starting to come out, you are being ungrateful. It's not a good look, especially for a man the age of Ambule and KOD. And people don't expect this from them, actually. If you think about it, you wouldn't think of KOD in a beef in a public space. You wouldn't think of Ambule in a beef in a public space.
I would think that if anybody said anything about him, he'll turn a blind eye and move on. Like, he's not that kind of person for me.
So, if it wasn't this situation, people wouldn't have known this kind of back and forth thing about him. You understand? So I just feel they're just trying to keep the system sane.
Not to cut you, but you know these things, I feel like they chip at your, I don't want to say personality, but you know sometimes people hold you in high esteem.
Yeah, the brand.
Yes.
It lowers the brand a little bit.
People really hold you in high esteem. Like for instance, I know KOD. He's actually my friend, and I've never seen or heard this kind of thing. I've never seen him in this light. So it kind of did something to me a little. You know, I read on his Facebook wall the kind of things he said. It took me aback for a minute, like
who is this?
You know, I was cringing at the, you know. So sometimes I feel that it's important, and shouts going out to my producer, Enig, who says that, you know, and I think that's something I have learned and I'll take with me wherever I go for the rest of my life, is that it doesn't matter what you say back to somebody who offends you or tries to or whatever. It doesn't matter. But what you say is the thing that could affect your brand. It's not what the person says about you. Do you understand? It's what you say. It's what you say. It does everything.
Exactly.
You know, so sometimes silence is golden.
Silence could be very
golden. Sometimes silence is really golden.
If I mean, there's this common saying that even if someone is a fool, no one knows till the person speaks. You understand? So silence is obviously sometimes the best way to, and it keeps that brand immaculate. Like, you understand? If someone pokes you and you don't mind the person, the person might gain a certain even level of respect for you, because the person knows that you are not going to entertain this type of energy. Like, you understand? So for me, I think Musica, it's interesting that they've intervened, especially because these people are probably legends in this industry, and it's also interesting the information that they've given us, you know. But I think moving forward, the whole high life conversation, I think it has been important, and we should look at steps that we can actually take to actually make high life, you know, be very topical again. Okay.
I was actually going to ask how important it is that we preserve high life. Like, how important is it for Ghanaians for the preservation of high life? But I think you already touched on that. Or do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm of the view that everything in life is progressive.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, we can be able to, you know, in moving into the future, Bob Marley says that you're not supposed to forget the past. True. Obviously. So I'm not saying high life is a past, but you know, high life itself, there have been various variations. You understand? So I feel the most important thing is that we are able to tell the story of, you know, our music. The fact that even the likes of Fela Kuti, who Afrobeats it from, came to Ghana, learned, you know, from our very own. The fact that, you know, even the Nigerians, as it is right now, they come to Ghana from time to time. I mean, everything that literally even trends here in Ghana, you realize that there's that ripple effect there. Even this look-alike thing that is going on, suddenly we are seeing that Davido look-alike. I know. You know, it's quite weird. But I think the most important thing is that, you know, we are able to keep the story intact. I like what Panji, Manifest, and the rest, the documentary on BBC about Afrobeats, and the fact that they made it known that, you know, it comes from something that is Ghanaian. Yeah, and these things are very important. And on a platform like BBC, that we are telling our story. Chris Brown once said that Azonto was from Nigeria, you know, and because he had heard Wizkid do it, because no one was really owning it in that way. So for me, it's very important that we tell the story, but we are supposed to allow music do its thing, progress, you know, and that is just that. Right.
And when it comes to beefs, feuding in the industry, do you suppose it helps in any way our growth?
Our growth, beefs. I think in every discipline, whether it's academia, whether it's science, whatever, an intellectual discourse is important. It's important in being able to shape a certain type of conversation or to come to that aha moment or that zenith of, you know, realization. So for me, there are good sides, there are bad sides of the situation. The good side of it, as we can see right now, is that high life is a topic. It has become a topic. True. It's something topical. The disadvantages now become, you know, how the people go about it and how they are denting their image with it. So for me, there's a good side, there's a bad side. You know, you can't, in every human institution, even between you, your children, between you, your sisters, between you and your brother, there will always be a disagreement, you know, but we have to come to a place where we can disagree to agree, or sometimes we can just disagree and it should be fine that we disagree. We don't always have to agree. True. We can disagree, but we should be able to mutually respect each other's opinion and move forward. I think conversations are important, intellectual discourses are important in every discipline, and you know, that is just what we are having here. So no one should say beef shouldn't happen. They will happen, you know, but we should just look more to the positives.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so we are moving on, and Baba Sadiq says that creatives will make serious politicians, serious in quote. Okay. He's a businessman, founder of 3 music awards, and Sadiq Abdullahi Abu has debunked the perception that creatives will not be taken seriously when they venture into politics. And he's even advising it's time they took up the statesmanship. Popularly known as Baba Sadiq, he believes that it is very wrong, a very wrong impression, and he is calling on his colleagues nursing political ambitions not to be discouraged but pick up the mantle. In a chat with Graphic Showbiz, Baba Sadiq said, "It is far from the truth. There is no way anyone will see us as not serious when we decide to go into politics. I always say that the creative industry is a serious business if we do our things right. In fact, we can make a lot of money from the creative space, movies, music, amongst others, if we do our things right. I believe any creative person will do well when voted into power. The politicians use us to campaign for them, but I feel it's about about time we filled positions in the political space and make the decisions that affect lives positively. So that we have it. Baba Sadiq saying that politicians will make, creatives will make serious politicians. How can creatives ensure that they are taken seriously? Because clearly, you know, to rehash this means that it's not something you believe yourself.
Yeah.
So this is just by the way, but you know, this debate about you know, transgenders wanting to be identified as female.
Okay.
And one of the arguments was that there's no man who goes around and he hears from people that, oh, you are a man.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You are a man.
Yeah, be reminded. The fact that even comes up, something is there.
That will make you feel funny, like, but why? Of course I'm a man, but why are you telling me?
Yeah.
So for you to want, because one of the transgenders, the argument was that his circles, all of the people say that he's a woman.
Okay.
His mother refers to him as Saj. His friends always call him she and say that, oh, you're a woman, you're a woman. And then, you know, this person they're having the debate with was that, you see, that itself is the problem. Because as I'm a woman, it's never up for conversation.
Yeah.
I don't go into any circle and people actually come to me and say, you're a woman.
That's the question. That's what I always subscribe to. Why the announcement?
You know, that in itself is a problem.
Yeah, it shows that there's a mental barrier that you are trying to
It means
overcome.
that you yourself do not believe it, and you need the constant reminder.
Yeah.
And you need people to buy into it so badly that you want to hear them say it.
Yeah.
So I feel as though, you know, Baba Sadi saying that means that it's something that he himself may not necessarily believe.
Okay.
You know, like he's trying to say, like, creatives should be more serious so that you can be taken seriously.
Okay.
Means that there's an underlying problem.
Okay.
We haven't
been serious enough.
Yes, or we haven't put up that front.
Okay.
So people can see us as such.
Okay.
I mean, I don't. That's just me. That's just you know what's running through my mind.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
First off, when you read the whole thing, the first questions that was coming to mind was, but what is a serious politician? Like, what do you mean by serious politician? Are there some politicians who aren't serious? You understand? I think, and I feel like we are supposed to approach everything from a certain level of professionality or professionalism. You understand? And for me, Baba Sadiq, I think the first time I saw him on TV or heard anything about him, there was this entertainment program, Time something. I've forgotten the name. Yeah, that was the first time I saw.
Yeah, that was back in the day.
Yeah. That was the first time I saw him on TV and all of that. And I've realized that he's been able to make the brand bigger, you know, come to a certain point where, you know, now he is trying to vie for MPship and all of that. And it's a very interesting growth that anyone sitting from the back, you know, can actually attest to. You know, I feel like you have said, there isn't really any point in stating the fact that people are supposed to be serious when it comes to politics. You understand? It just gives a certain impression that, you know, the people haven't been serious enough. But also, to be fair to him, you could look at how generally people receive creatives when they want to vie into political spaces. We know that we have a culture where we feel like people, even, I mean, from time past, you have someone being a musician and the person goes on an interview and they're asking the person, how did your mom feel when you decided to go into music? Like, what do you mean, how did my mom feel? And it's not in a positive sense, you know, it's to say that it's a path that is not really that glorious.
Yeah.
You know, why are you going there? Why are you not a lawyer?
Yeah,
why are you not a
belief
doctor?
that it's a fallback plan for people who don't make it. You know that?
Yeah.
Okay.
There is that belief.
Yes.
Exactly. So that's why they ask those questions.
Yeah.
So you see a manifest at an interview and they're asking him, your dad is a lawyer, your mom is a lawyer, your grandfather is a this. So how did your parents take it when you decided to go into music? You know, which is so that is the general societal perception that people who get into entertainment or its related fields, you know, are people who aren't maybe probably smart enough, or they have failed at something, and this is, you know, something that they are falling back on. I feel that is a very wrong notion, that is a very wrong perception that needs to be corrected. I feel personally creatives are some of the most intelligent people. They are some of the bravest people, because especially for a creative career in Ghana, bro, you need a lot of guts. Because it's like gamble. It's a big gamble. Even those who actually make it to the top there don't even make the type of money that you would really expect that a creative should make. Because if you compare their returns to what others make in even Nigeria, you can see that there is a very big gap. You know, so I think that the main problem is usually akin to, you know, the general perception that creatives really aren't serious people, you know, and all of that. But it's time that notion is changed. I think with time, you know, people like Jifa Gomashi, who have become an MP, people like Makukweku Mante, who is now a deputy minister, people like John Dumelo, who are trying to get into parliament and all of those things. With time, it is shaping that landscape. I remember growing up hearing that Arnold Schwarzenegger was vying for senatorship. It was very, for me, even then,
governorship actually.
Okay, it wasn't governorship. It was strange, like an actor going into that. But now it has become a thing. A lot of actors, even across the world, Desmond Elliott in Nigeria, RMD, you know, in Nigeria, and all of those things. So for me, I think creatives, even Ukraine's president, I think he's a comedian, but he is actually leading the charge when it comes to a war. You understand? So that is how serious it can actually get. And it's good. It's actually a good thing. I think more creatives should vie into political positions because, see, look at a show like Wilderland. I mean, it takes a lot of resources, takes a lot of planning, takes a lot of networking, some of these things to bring such shows to a realization through music, all of these things. I think that there's a certain level of, how do you say it, administrative capabilities that you have to bring on board to be able to see those things through, especially in a place like that. And politics is supposed to be for competent people. So if someone has shown a certain level of competence, even in a field in this place that is not as structured as possible, you probably say, maybe if someone, maybe the person was a lawyer, he's built a career as a lawyer, and the person goes into politics, it sounds, you know, very, how do you say it? It sounds very expected. You understand, because you feel the person has achieved something in his life. He has a portfolio that grants him that type of how do you say reach. You understand, but you are looking at a creative. Probably you are not able to put this thing to that portfolio because you feel he's not really been doing anything. But if you can really put it down and analyze, you realize the creatives are also doing things in their own sphere that is actually showing competence. You know, and I think when it comes to politics, the most important thing should always be competence. And once these people are showing a certain level of competence, we are supposed to grant them that type of hearing or opportunity to be able to serve the nation in a broader capacity.
Right. Okay, so we're live on Facebook and YouTube, Showbiz TV on Facebook and YouTube. We're live, and also we're opening the phone lines 0503-951-001. That's 0503-951-001. call in, with the conversation that we're having in the studio. If you have any contributions, we would love to hear from you. Also, our WhatsApp number 0503-951-006. Don't forget to check out our pages on Instagram and on Facebook, Showbiz TV. Be sure to share, like, comment, and let's just keep it going. The hashtag Showbiz TV, SHOBIZ. Now, creatives, how can they get over their fear of getting into politics? Because when Adam did his did his what did he call that? Is a social experiment. When he did that,
scientists,
people actually thought maybe he wanted to do it, and then he had on second thoughts and decided, let me just turn this into something. For anybody in the creative show business, if they want to get into politics, how do you suppose they can get over their fear?
How could they get over their fear? Basically, I think the fear would actually be how to be able to get over that public perception of incompetence.
Right.
That would be the fear for me, because that is the notion that is usually out there, that there are people who aren't serious in life in general. So I think the best way to be able to tackle that, obviously, is to show a certain level of competence always around the things that you do, no matter how small it is. You have creatives and people who are in entertainment taking up roles. Look at Christian Achu. He was taking up roles in community development. He was helping orphanages. He was helping people who were in prison and stuff like that. I think when people are able to see that you are doing something that is worthwhile. Last time I talked about Adam's even situation, where he had helped the Wija Leprosarium in various capacities. When you look at even Baba Sadiq, I think he helps his community pick what do you call it, Fadama, and all of those things. So for me, I think the best way to be able to surmount that fear is to be able to show a certain level of competence to the people. You understand? Because obviously the people are the ones who are going to vote, and they are supposed to see you as a person who is competent. So show them the competence. You understand? And I think that is the most important thing. It's not about what you say, it's about what you do. So if it's charity organizations that you are working on, make it loud
we have
enough.
A call on the line. Hold that thought. Hello.
Good morning, Natalia.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Mr. Bob. I'm calling you from Obako Tipa.
Okay, talk to me.
Yes, I was just enjoying your show in the house, and I decided to call and firstly talk about the KOD and then ambulance issue. I feel our industry is growing by every day, so such conversations are not ones to be entertained any longer. If there are any differences, it should be well ironed between whoever feels what difference has to be done, rather than always bringing out our dirty rag and the washing, because now social media is everywhere, and we give ourselves a chance for other countries to tap into our mainstream stories and make mimic or see how progressive we are becoming. And I think things like this don't actually give us a group. We're always looking forward to have it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for the phone call. So it's 0503-951-001. That's 0503-951-001. If you want to talk about any of the, stories we've discussed on here, do well to call us and add your contribution. But if you want to send a WhatsApp message, you can do so on 0503-951-006. Yes.
Yeah. So I was basically talking about showing competence. So the only thing that they're actually supposed to do is to be able to show us that they can actually do the work.
Right.
So whether it's charity organization,
we have the men.
We have the men, exactly. So whether it's charity organizations, whether it's community development, all of these things, it's very important that they're able to show a certain level of competence in it, and that the people would believe.
All right, we're moving on to Walasi, who has announced the release of his highly anticipated EP, The Rap Y. Is that what it's called?
Therapy.
Therapy. Oh, therapy.
It's a pun.
It's a pun. Therapy is a 6-track studio EP. Oh my goodness. So the body of work released last Thursday, April 13, marks his first EP release in 2 years and promises to be a powerful addition to his already impressive discography. Therapy, The Rap Y, is a musical therapy session for Walasi where he confronts the complications and struggles he faces in everyday life. And in turn, during his creative cycle, each song portrays a recurring emotion which, if left unchecked, could elevate or destroy him as a creative. Walasi, knowing he couldn't afford to go to a therapist regularly and how uncommon it was in West African culture, learns to be honest with himself through his music. The EP has been given a nod by several artists, including Manifest, Sarkodie, and several others. Therapy.
Yeah, Walasi. If I could talk about Walasi for like an hour, you know, because he's one of those artists that I think can get us there, because his sound is very different, and Walasi is very multifaceted. He produces, he sings, he raps, you know, I mean, whatever it is when it comes to the music, and he's a great performer. And he's even an artist. He draws, you know. Walasi is just a complete embodiment of art. My personal, how do I put it? How I got to know Walasi is actually funny, because I don't know him personally, but I used to nurse a rap career. Okay. So I used to work with this guy called Sammy Cube. So he used to do some of his works for him. I remember going to the studio one time to record my song, obviously.
And so you do have a song recorded?
Oh yeah, I do have songs recorded.
I should listen to them.
Okay. I'm quite dope though.
Oh, let me be the judge.
Well, so I went to the studio to record a song, and after recording my song, then he was like, "Oh, he has this guy, you know, make it playing song, give me." I said, "Oh, Charlie, play him." I think as at that time he was in Takoradi Polytechnic or something like that. So he played a song. It was that song, I remember it clearly. It was Someday off the Nuse album. At that time, it was not out, nothing. Immediately, I heard the song. I was like, nah, this is the guy. You understand? I didn't trust my body, but I hear this guy.
Levels day.
Yeah, I was like, nah, this is the guy. So I remember coming home. I played it to my little sister. I played it to my friends. I'm like, this guy, you put for watch him. Like, it go really blow incense. So later, when I saw that Walasi had actually made, like, the name was beginning. I remember the guy, I used to work with this guy who was a makeshift, supposed to be a manager. You know, he wasn't serious. You know, I used to work with him. I used to tell him that, Charlie, we for lace a feature with this guy before it go blow, because the guy go blow. You understand? And looking back, and just looking at how Walasi has translated from that guy that I heard in the studio, that I actually did believe, even from the first day that I heard him, to working with artists like Manifest, working with artists like Sarkodie, EL, I mean, top notch guy. And when you come to his art itself, I think his art is impeccable, because he's doing something that you don't really get a lot in here. He is able to, you know, he has this kind of ever vibe, you know, and his beats kind of sound, there's this bobo type of feel to his sound. So it's very rich,
it is.
You know, and all of that. And when it comes to this particular album, look at the topic that he's addressing. Last time you were here, we were talking about how artists are supposed to take their mental health seriously, how they are supposed to go for therapy. Literally, this is what this album is about. You know, it's about therapy. And he talks about his struggles as an artist from the track Perfection to the last song, you know. So various levels of struggle as an artist, talking about the fact that on the first track, which is Perfection, I've listened to the album actually, and he's talking about the fact that sometimes you're trying to put a project out and you're just trying to look for this perfect sound. Like, you know, artists can be very perfectionist.
Oh yeah.
You know, you hear your song over and over. Nah, I don't say this thing well. You know, for the beat up well. You know, and he's addressing these type of issues. You know, and this is not a conversation that you have in showbiz.
Yeah.
So he's coming from a fragile point of view, you know, to pour his heart out. And at the end of the whole tape, you have them having a sit together, discussing, you know, whether or not they had that situation of having to go to therapy even as kids. And this is a conversation that we need to have. You look at EL again, because he is in the news very lately. I mean, he said he went through whatever, and he was asked whether he went to a therapy session or got to a psychologist or whatever. He said no. You understand? So this album brings that realization, and you know, it makes that type of thing topical. And the pun that he plays with a therapy, you know, the rap why. Walasi, a lot of people have, I think the first song that a lot of people noticed him for was 100%, because during that time, that whole Sarkodie and Manifest thing was going on. That was when Walasi and Manifest teamed together to drop 100%. So a lot of people know him as the guy who does the hooks, the guy who sings. You know, there really isn't that one song that you can pick and say that, okay, this is Walasi's biggest song. Yeah. You understand? But he seems to be that guy who seems to be just around, you know, just waiting for that time to really blow. And I really hope that he gets there, you know. And people don't really know him as a rapper. Yeah. When you go to his shows, you get to experience art, because I think he organized at Alliance Francaise at probably every year or so. You get to experience his art, that's the drawing and all of those things. I think he's a visual artist also professionally, you know. And then you move into the music, you know, and the music is very, even in his performances, he brings it very much alive. I remember there was this time he came on a horse on stage, you know. He brings it very much alive, but people don't really know him for that rap thing, you know. And it's important for him that, you know, he shows people his rap skills. And in many of his songs, he has talked about where, you know, where his music inspiration comes from. And you can realize that they are rappers. He talked about One Love, he talked about EL. These are rappers, you know. But he has also found a way of being able to express himself in various forms, not just rap. But this time, I think he's trying to show us, you know, his prowess when it comes to rap. My favorite of the album is obviously When I'm Gone, because it's very rappy. You know, I really love it. I love it.
And he talks about the fact that making this, you know, EP was very therapeutic for him. Yeah. What does it mean for a musician to use their music as a form of therapy? I know that, what's his name again? His name is Black Sherry. Okay, yeah. You know, when he said in his song that my own anxieties and my inferiorities, clearly we don't know that what is. But touching on issues like that is not very common on the music scene. You know, and it's not something that people want to talk about at all. We shy away from it. What does it mean for an artist to find therapy in his music?
I get it.
We have a call on the line. Just hold that. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, we're from Kuti. We can wish a life from Tadi.
Kofi?
Yeah.
Yes, talk to me.
Yeah, the show, I'm going to studio in that film.
Kofi, can be on my.
Studio in that film. That's a life of staff. No, that's better. I'm not from where we that serum.
I don't know if you're to a petty guy. You don't almost somewhere, no matter being an island and other work for.
Yes. Matasi.
In your dream, and the Coslico is giving them a funny idea to go to get your nose to Panama. No more can be a funny idea of car.
Mate. Kofi, the ball is in your court. Us American one found Yadrin.
Yeah, that's great.
It got a bit thick in the middle. I really couldn't hear what he was saying.
We can disagree.
Oh, yeah, we can agree to disagree. Okay, yeah. So you know, an artist using therapy, his music as a form of therapy, and how it impacts their creative process.
Yeah, for me, I think most artists are actually melancholy. Most artists are very inward looking. You know, they are people who, you know, are very deep in their thoughts. If you listen to an artist like, let's say, one of the artists growing up that I really enjoy listening to was Eminem. Because Eminem used to have this thing where he's telling personal stories. You know, when you look at his lyric in Lose Yourself, his palms are sweaty, arms are weak. You know, like he's telling a story of his own personal, you know, thing. And I think that is it when it comes to art. Art is usually born, personally, I feel, art is usually born from a place. A lot of artists, when you ask them, you know, they tell you that they started writing because maybe they felt this type of way about a particular situation. So instead of maybe putting it in a diary, their music becomes something like a memoir. You understand? So it's more like a diary to them when it comes to their music. So, and being able to share a story sometimes is the most therapeutic thing that you can actually do. Because usually, sometimes you don't get to have people to listen to your struggles and to listen to what you are going through. But when you're able to put a pen to a paper, put it down, talk about it, give it to your audience, and you are even probably going to make some money from it, it can be very therapeutic. So I think for me, it's very important. I think art for me is born out of that type of place. I'm more drawn to melancholic music because it gives a lot of reflection. You know, you get to reflect a lot when you are listening to it. And for me, basically, that is how art should come. Art should come from a place that is personal, that is true, you know, that can really touch the other person or shape the other person in a way. I always say that for me, my worldview basically has been very much directed by art and the Bible. Exactly. And even when it comes to the Bible is poetry. You understand? So basically by art. So it's very important that, you know, artists are able to give us this thing that we are able to hold on to. And it's that is how it's supposed to be for me. Art is always supposed to be therapy. Yeah.
And how easy would you say is it for artists to confront their own struggles, like, you know, things that they go through?
Yeah. I'll take it in two phases. I think when it comes to the private sense, I think it will be quite easier when you are dealing with your struggles in private, when there isn't any public eye, there isn't anyone to judge. You understand? That you can withdraw, have a sober reflection, have a team around you, you know, that is able to put you right and all. For that, I don't think that would be any problem. But when it comes to the public eye, you understand, it's very dicey when you start looking vulnerable to people in public, because you are a brand and people are trying to take you in a certain sense. Now you are coming to tell us certain things about yourself that we are not really expecting to hear. You know, how could that affect your brand? How could that make people even view you? So that could make it very difficult, especially when it comes to the public eye, when you are supposed to go through, maybe like if it's a breakup, when you are supposed to go through a certain mental trauma or breakdown in front of the public. That one can be very tough. you know. But I think in private, you can obviously have that support system that can ease the way for you. But when it comes to the public, there's a lot at stake. There's a lot at play. Showbiz is obviously a perception-based thing. It's an image-based thing. So you don't want to put out a front or an image that looks weak, you know. So sometimes it gets very tough for them to deal with it in the public eye. But when it comes to private, I think it could be quite easier, because there isn't really that much of a judgment, an outside opinion and everything like that, because they'll have that support system with them.
Right. Okay, so we're gonna go for a quick commercial break. This is Stand Up on Showbiz TV. Remember, we're live on YouTube and on Facebook, Showbiz TV. Also, be sure to follow our pages on Instagram and on Facebook, Showbiz TV. Share, like, comment. We would love to hear from you. Our WhatsApp number 0503951006. Quick break. We'll be right back.
We promise you an exhilarating time span of delight on Afro Section.
Strawberry ginger.
Your world's about to get rocked with the finest visual playlist of Afro hit songs across the continent.
We know we fine like me. We know we fresh like me. We know we hot like me.
Your satisfaction is a surefire thing, so just loosen up and drift into an Avalon of multifarious Afro music on Showbiz TV.
I'm protected by Jah Almighty Father. Them can say we from afar.
I am your party giver, Kathy Brown.
Dawn of a new day, new hopes, new dreams, new ways. Open up my heart and I'm gonna do my part and make this a positively beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Let's make this so wonderful. Let's make this so powerful. Let's make this a beautiful
Showbiz TV, Beyond Music.
early in the morning. It's the dawn of a new day, new hopes, new dreams, new ways. Open up my heart and I'm gonna do my part and make this a positive.
Sugar cane sweet, but your love is sweeter.
We promise you an exhilarating time span of delight on Afro Section.
Strawberry ginger.
Your world's about to get rocked with the finest visual playlist of Afro hit songs across the continent.
We know we fine like me. We know we fresh like me. We know we hot like me.
Your satisfaction is a surefire thing, so just loosen up and drift into an Avalon of multifarious Afro music on Showbiz TV.
I'm protected by Jah Almighty Father. Them can say we from afar.
I am your party giver, Kathy Brown.
Early in the morning, it's the dawn of a new day, new hopes, new dreams, new ways. Open up my heart and I'm gonna do my part and make this a positively beautiful day. It's a beautiful
All right, welcome back from the break. This one says, greetings. I am Pounds watching you guys live from Tema Community 7, and I'm really loving the show. Big ups to Sky and Fred Alija. Yes, Sky is the baby that I can never breastfeed because he would suckle me dry. That one. Do you think I should have used a different example? I think of all the men here, maybe champagne. I should have used champagne. Champagne would definitely be the baby that will, oh my goodness. No. Okay. That's not good.
Bouncy baby boy.
Bounce. He's the real definition, isn't it? Okay, so we're going into our final story maybe, or our last but one story. But real quick, you can call us on 0503 951 001. That's 0503 951 001. Shouts going out to Champagne. And so in our maybe final story. So Hajia Bintu has eaten the humble pie. She's come up with an apology after the Kayan Mata advert or promotion on her social media page. So Ghanaian socialite, she was advertising a love spell product. She named as F and Stay, Love and Pay, and Attraction to Rich Men. And it went viral, and netizens condemned the act by Hajia Bintu, describing her as a negative influence on the youth. Now, you know, there was a lot about it. A lot of people had a lot to say. I don't want to go into the entire story, but she issued an apology in a post shared on her Snapchat. She posted, and I quote, "I want to take this opportunity to apologize to all. I promote products for various brands, and this time my management team and I were negligent in accessing the effect of marketing products that a vendor brought to us." In the screenshot of the post, she concluded, "I have no intentions to attract such out-of-line effect on the general public, myself and my brand, and I'm sincerely sorry for that." Tell me, what are the ethical considerations that celebrities and social media influencers should consider in any of the promotions?
Yeah, I think, first of all, one is supposed to have a conscience. Yes, you understand. It shouldn't even be about ethics or whatever. As a human being, you're supposed to have a conscience. You're supposed to look at what you are doing, how it even affects the next person, the person who is next to you. And someone like Hajia Bintu, who has now become, you know, a public figure, whether you like it or not, people get to say, well, is she a celebrity? She's not a celebrity, this, that. Whether you like it or not, she's in your face. She has become a popular person. And obviously, when you are popular these days, brands are going to use you to, you know, draw eyeballs to their products. You understand? So you are supposed to view yourself in that sense, you know, and you are supposed to know that your actions or inactions does affect not just yourself, it could affect even the kid who is growing up looking at you. So that conscience is supposed to exist. And I think even in the space, the influencer thing is a new thing that is coming up. It's also important that maybe moving forward, there would be a certain code or ethic when it comes to, because now it's looking like a profession. Actually, you know, the same way you have ethics for lawyers, you have, you know, code of conduct for, you know, all these other fields. Probably, maybe we should look at a place where their activities are regulated. I don't think it's regulated yet. So, are they paying taxes? You know, that is also another question. You know, so we should get to a point where we are able to regulate this industry, because it has become a very potent financial industry. And once you regulate it, then now we can have a system where we are putting certain codes of ethics in place, so that you know that you are not advertising this, you are not doing this, you are not doing that. I think recently, even when it comes to musicians, was it Musica or whatever, put a ban on Ghanaian artists advertising for alcoholic brands. That was a whole issue. But once that code is
Oh yeah,
there,
how far with that? Is it?
I don't know.
Is it still on?
I don't know. I should think so because
Because I know they fought it.
Yeah,
They
but
fought it a lot.
I have not
And I
seen-
remember, I'm not sure which brand, but one brand brought Nigerian influencers
Yes.
to promote, and Ghanaians vex.
Yeah.
You know.
So you are creating job for the other
I
person
know.
out there. But it's just to say that, you know, once there's, for now, there really isn't any code for them. You know, so most of them are just going off the whim, doing what they like.
Yeah.
But as a person, you're supposed to have a conscience. I think that is where we should take it from as at now,
Yeah.
since there isn't really any code for them.
Yeah.
As long as the person is getting their money,
Right.
they feel it's okay. But when you have a conscience, you know, you are able to balance it very
Right,
well.
right.
Yeah.
But does that, you know, seeing that, I'm sure you saw the video.
Yeah, I've
or
seen the
was you-
video. I've seen the
Seeing
video.
that as a man, does that scare you a little bit, knowing that there are lots of women? I won't say a lot. I mean, I don't have any data to, you know, back what I'm saying. But knowing that there are some women who actually use these on men to get things that they want. How does that make you feel?
Well, for me, I think this is something that we have all growing up. I mean, the rumors of these things have always been around, even when it comes to men talking about for girls and all of those things. These type of things.
Is that so? There is such a thing.
That's what I've heard. As to the potency of it.
Although, so what is it? Is it what is it exactly?
I think it's a potion that they use, and then you know
they use for what?
They use
I
to
need some
probably
education.
So
is it a potion that the men put on themselves? Or
I don't know how they apply it. I don't know the details of it,
Oh,
but that is
right.
what I've heard.
Okay,
you know,
okay. Because with this one, clearly there were directions. Put something on your forehead.
Do it this
spray
way.
something on yourself.
Yeah.
Do something, or
So
say something, whatever.
It's literally jujuism. You understand? Yeah, they're telling you how to do it and all of those things. But the point that I'm actually trying to make is that there have been rumors of these things in the past. You understand? As to its potency, I don't really know. But I should think that as a guy, I'm indifferent towards it. You understand? I think in your choice of people that you want to be with, you are supposed to be able to vet them properly, like Kwame Eugene said that people got annoyed with. You are supposed to obviously perceive the character of the person that you are going to be with even before you lay with the person, because obviously what she's saying, I think, is when you sleep with a person that you get to stay.
But you know, men, I mean, even a lot of musicians have made songs that say something like, oh, yes, so dear, Drobi na ya me, whatever, and in that particular situation, like konako miemu, like mepe, you know what I mean? Give me more of it. You know, because when people fall in love, really, they say when a person is in love, that's one category of people you can never advise. People in love, you don't try to advise them, you know, because when people are in love, they almost lose their senses.
Even Davido's song Kaya Mata, that's Davido and Stonebwoy. Kaya Mata for you. I think Kaya Mata is also one of those things. So it's in pop culture. But as to its potency,
we really don't know. So we're
really
opening the phone lines at 0503-951-001, and we're asking you this morning that, look, all these things, are there things, are they things you believe in? Have you ever used them? If you want to share your experiences and also how you feel about it, especially if you're a man, knowing that there's a possibility that some woman somewhere wants to do that with you. They say pay, there's something, I didn't quite get that. They say that they will let you pay money, they call it something. And you know, they just say it, and then you say, give me your Momo number. I mean, I think it's ridiculous though, because
so, if you're a guy and you don't have enough funds, I don't think you're supposed to be worried about this. Because
that's a call on the line. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name and where are you calling from? Okay, talk to me. Okay. Yes.
We have it for girls and for boys. Now there's a lot of scams you want shortcuts to make, whether you like it or not, you go for it. Because everyone wants it their way.
Right.
It's not a work. It's something that is risk. So it is true. Something that is true. You think that then this, I hear the ladies and the ladies will go to the ladies and the one of them not the vigilant of what you are doing. And so the type of men want to go out.
Okay.
So now I'm steady. Yeah, I'm steady. Now I'm steady. So certain things I don't involve myself. So it's nothing that is going on. It is true.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for calling 0503-951-001. He says, I'm steady. Yeah. Charlie, you for day G. Because you never know. Because you never know.
I mean, so it's good that she has come to apologize. I think she has found a sense in the public backlash that she has received. I think a lot of us haven't known her to be the type that speaks a lot, but she has been speaking a lot, and it's really not telling well on her. I think she should just stick to the TikTok videos.
Okay, there's a call on the line. Hello?
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Shobiz and I'm calling from.
Okay, talk to me.
Yeah, Natalia, you do really well. And as we speak, I'm on my way to do you. So
You're on your way to? You're on your way to what?
To do you, Natalia. So expect me.
Okay, well, good luck. I'm on my way to do you. I didn't even catch that. Okay, yes, you were saying.
Yeah, so I think I've not known her to be the type that talks a lot. Because I think when she burst onto the scene, one of the things I liked about her was that she was just doing her TikTok thing, doing her dancing.
Yeah.
She even always appeared covered and all of that,
Yeah.
even though she's very voluptuous
Yeah.
and all of those things. She wasn't talking a lot, and it helped the brand. It kept the brand in a certain
Yeah.
way. I think she should just keep quiet. She should just
In
give
some
us,
cases, silence is golden, goes a long way, as in
Exactly.
saying nothing.
Now she's beginning to
Yeah.
look some type of
Yeah,
way, you know.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
waning.
Yeah,
The
there are
brand,
some
so
people that you like better when they say
when they are
nothing.
quiet, yeah, just keep quiet. Let's just enjoy the view.
You know what I mean? Okay, so this is where we draw the curtain this morning. Look, we've had a good time. I've had a good time. Kofi, thank you for coming
Yeah, thank
through.
you very much
And
for having
shouts
me.
going out to my team, to Glam by Aseye for my look. On Instagram, it's Glam by Aseye. Check her out. To the entire team, to Nicholas, to Kokontera, to Fred, Alija, Skyface, Demigod, to Captain Hooks, Mr. Bento, Champagne, Eneg, Ahmed, Abeku, Tahir, Sego, Asaya, the entire team. You guys are amazing. To Evan, Sally, Felicia, thank you guys so much for always holding me down, holding the show down. We appreciate this, and so help us God. We're coming back tomorrow, same time, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Remember to go on our socials on Facebook and on Instagram, Shobiz TV. Like, share, follow, and recommend to all of your friends so they can enjoy as well. Also, do not forget to log on to showbiztv.com. My name is Natalia. I'm on Instagram at Yes I Am Natalia. And I will catch you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Morning, it's the dawn of a new day. New hopes, new dreams, new ways. I open up my eyes and I open up my mind and I wonder how life will surprise me today. Early in the morning, it's the dawn of a new day. New hopes.
Shobiz TV. Beyond music.
Sugar cane sweet, but your love is sweeter.
We promise you an exhilarating time span of delight on Afro Section.
Strawberry ginger.
Your world's about to get rocked with the finest visual playlist of Afro hit songs across the continent.
We know we fun like me. We know we fresh like me. We know we hot like me.
Your satisfaction is a surefire thing, so just loosen up and drift into an Avalon of multifarious Afro music on Shobiz TV.
I'm protected by Jah Almighty Father. They can see we from afar.
I am your party giver, Kathy Brown.
Oh my God, it's confirmed.
Yeah, yo, you got that thing that they don't have. Oh, beautiful lady, melanin pop skin lady. I only do one man type of lady. Intelligent and she never show no sign of arrogance. I say you be beautiful lady. 1001 men are begging. They want to know where you come from, cause you can't be no random girl. You be pop, 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 pop like Shandon. And I wanna be your controller.